With over 120 days into Tinubu's administration, Nigerians are still complaining about hardship, and it seems the palliative measures put in place to cushion the effects of the fuel subsidy removal are not enough, or have not gotten into the hands of the indigent.
Now, if you know 1,500, you know, come work. So what are you you never eat. A plate of food when I go eat now, then tell me say 1,002. I go waka, only my belly. Children never chop, and I never belly full. We have belly full. Now granite I chop now to complete the one when I chop. What is happening? That keep you. Go that keep you. You get anybody when tell you say collect palliative. Go Karamajiji. You get person when tell you say collect palliative.
Recall that a few months ago, an economist and investment banker, Mascot Uzokalu, warned that the federal government should refrain from tackling the effects of subsidy removal, which he said was a palliative measure itself, by reintroducing another palliative scheme.
The removal of subsidy, it's something that was important to do. But I've said before, subsidy is a palliative. You cannot remove a palliative and then we start giving a different type of palliative. It does not work. There are certain things that do not work in economic principles, and this is one of those things. We need to remove subsidy and put in a permanent measure of how to solve the problem of subsidy. On gas, we can be the number one in the world since Russia is having war. On petroleum, we can be number one in Africa, where we take our petroleum manufacture and reticulate around African areas and ship to other African areas and also earn this foreign exchange. So until we find a way to curb and bring down the cost of foreign exchange, the cost of transportation will not come down. The cost of petrol will not come down. But we can't do this if Nigerian government want to take a drastic measure towards it. So focusing on rebuilding and of the gas industry, history or information has shown that the position of gas makes crude oil look like a little baby. So, and it's possible that the only other country in the world that can compete with us on gas is Russia. And if Russia is having this major problem that they're having, it means that Nigeria has the opportunity to become number one in gas development and exportation to other European countries. So let us take advantage of it. It is one of the ways, because for us to come out of the hole we are in, we're not going to tax ourselves out of this hole. We're not going to cut costs out of this hole. We can only spend ourselves out of this hole. And I call it spending ourselves to prosperity. I think I've done a lecture on this. Spending ourselves to prosperity. We have to spend ourselves out of this hole. But the problem, the key problem, the first world country you're going to go borrow this money for, they are always skeptical. Will Nigeria do what they said they will do with the funds? That's the key problem. If Nigeria needs $1 trillion or $1 trillion, they will get it. The question the investors and the borrowers will be asking, will Nigeria use it to invest in our infrastructural development in the key sectors we need to put it in? Because believe me, even if it's $1 trillion, we can pay back within 15 or 20 years and comfortably pay back without scratch, because we have the mineral resources that it requires for us to pay those things. These are things that most of these countries do not have. And yet, they are multi-billion-dollar industries. But we have them, natural endowments, and we're allowing to waste. And some are even stolen by the other world countries. The palliative is a wrong idea.
He, however, argued that the billions of naira budgeted for palliative programs should be reinvested into the dwindling economy, particularly the manufacturing and transportation sectors, in such a way that it will have a multiplier effect and ultimately cushion the effects of the subsidy removal.
The fuel subsidy is a palliative measure. I don't think we should remove one palliative measure and replace it with another palliative measure. I think we should remove a palliative measure and invest the money into a permanent solution that will solve the problems of Nigeria.
Buses.
CNG buses. I don't think it's a good idea. The reason is you're talking about 3,000 buses. That doesn't even scratch the surface. What I would have done, I would have invested 150 billion on conversion of keke from fuel to gas on the average, because history or examples have shown that we can convert each keke between 100,000 to 150,000 naira. So that will convert 1 million keke. And if you spread around the whole state and the FCT, you're looking at about 25 to 27,000 keke in each state. And the people you're trying to reach out to, that's their main means of transport. Then we'll make provisions of maybe between 4 to 5 billion to the states that have buses, state-owned buses, for conversion of fuel to gas. So I am not in the belief that all this so much palliative, give 50,000, 8,000 naira, give this. No, it's not a permanent fix. Dollar hovered between 750 and 790 for a long period of time. As soon as the National Assembly approved the 500 billion naira subsidy loan, dollar went to 800 or something, because in the minds of the world economy, it's as if we're back to the old style of things. They're not seeing a permanent solution. When you're a third world country and your naira exchange is floating, and our floating is not, you can have a floating that is pegged. Our floating is market floating. Even when you sneeze, even when you cough, it has an impact on your exchange rate.
Now that the government has spent billions of naira on palliatives and the people are complaining of not receiving them, a situation that heightens the distrust Nigerians have for their government, what next should be done to address the suffering of the masses?